Welcome back. Now, as I said at the start of the show, we've had a few new members join our team over the break, including the man you're about to meet, Ian Grant. Now, he's no stranger to my doggies, having been their vet for the past few years. As you'll see, he's got a wonderful way with animals. They all love him, as I'm sure you will too.
Hi, I'm Ian Grant, and we're here today at the small animal clinic where I work. This year on our segments with 5:30, we are going to spend time out and about, but we're also going to spend a little bit more time behind the scenes, seeing what goes on in a vet clinic. This is the waiting room, and people come in here and they can ask advice from our nurses, and they can also have a look around the products that are available. Now, nutrition is a really important aspect of animal health, and as you can see, we have a whole range of products which we can give you some guidance on in terms of what you should be feeding your pets. There's also various products for shampoos or flea collars and just general care. What we have here is a cat who's going to come with us and have a vaccination today and a quick check over. So we're going to go in the consulting room and I'll show you what goes on in there. This is where we do all our basic work, and Sammy's here for a vaccination. But as well as that, we might be involved in measuring your pet's weight, or we might have to do a clinical examination and dispense some of the drugs that we have on the shelves here. If we need to do something a little bit more detailed, perhaps an x-ray or a look at your pet's teeth, we might go downstairs to the operating room to do that. So if you follow me, we'll go down there and have a look. Hi, Bernadine.
Hi.
Bernadine's our surgical nurse, and she's just preparing Beau here, who's about to have a neutering operation. Now, Beau has been given a pre-med, which just settles him down for his anaesthetic. So as you can see, he's looking a little bit groggy. In this room, we have all sorts of technical equipment and stuff that we need for doing operations. You can see we've got a light up here, which makes sure we illuminate our surgical fields clearly. And over here, we've got an X-ray machine. And X-rays are a really useful way of looking inside the body at the things that we can't see from the outside, maybe a heart or lungs, and often for broken bones. Some of you may also notice the dental X-ray machine, and what that's for is for examining the roots of teeth, and you've probably been through an expensive dental examination at some stage and seen that piece of equipment. And over the next few weeks, we want to spend a lot of time in here so we can show you what all these different bits of equipment do. Now, once Beau's had his operation, he'll come through into our kennel room to recover from his anaesthetic. Hi, Timmy. But this is also the area where animals who are staying with us for the day come. Hello, Striana. Down here we have Striana. She's a boxer dog, and we think she has a hormonal problem, so she's been having some blood tests with us today. Now, I know that was a bit of a tiki tour, but I think it's given you an idea of what goes on here, and you'll be seeing a lot more of this place in the future. So I'll say cheerio for now, and I look forward to seeing you next time.
And another new face, one some of you might remember from our Queenstown special a couple of years ago, Chef Rick Rutledge Manning. He also popped up on our Red Nose Day special with Marcia, cooking little biscuits with red cherries on top, if my memory serves me correctly, and I'm sure it does. It's our pleasure to welcome him back in a new cooking segment called Do Yourself a Flavour. Great name, don't you think?
Hey, haven't we had a great summer? You know, the best thing about summer cooking is the succulent produce, the roast bell peppers and the sweet tomatoes. I'm going to combine these two into something quite traditional, a delicious chutney that will enhance and add flavour to any of your favourite dishes. So before we go any further, I'd like to show you a little trick, the red pepper. Although we've got the example here, and this one looks slightly charred, it's with good reason. I've done that purely because it has an outside skin. Simply place a fork in it, roast it over hot flames, and you have the skin that just comes off naturally like that. You can almost peel it off with your fingers. And the only reason we take the skin off, it's a lot easier to digest in your system, and also it intensifies the flavour and slightly blanches it. So we'll cut into that, and then we'll proceed with the rest of the dish. So simply take your onion, give it a quick 30-second stir, no more than 30 seconds. We'll take those luscious peppers we spoke about before, place those in at the same time. Get that in. Take those here. And perhaps it's a good little tip here. The garlic has a lot of sugar and there's a lot of enzymes and they tend to burn. So I like to start my sauteing and then add the garlic. Then I get the full intensity of that garlic flavour, which is what it's all about. Stir that through very quickly. Take my red peppers, which I showed you how to peel before. can take these tomatoes now, and we just add the tomatoes. Now, what I have done is when I've chopped up the tomatoes, I actually have kept the tomato whole, so you don't have to de-seed it. And what we've done by doing that, what we try to achieve is to get that lovely natural flavour the tomato has to offer, and the slight acid, which will be balanced out later on in the chutney. Well, now it's the time for the piece de resistance. And these wonderful aromatic spices from Greg's gives this chutney real flavour. Some ground ginger, mixed spices, and allspice. It's around about 1 teaspoon of the ginger, 1 teaspoon of the allspice, and half a teaspoon of my mixed spices. When the heat gets onto that, it actually opens up all those lovely aromatics. So just stir that in. There we are. Finish that off like so. What gives this chutney, I think, a real different twist is that we use the vinegar and sugar by simply placing them in together and dissolving it, almost like a syrup. Let's put that at the back. Probably takes around about no more than 40 seconds. And what I'm trying to achieve is the sugar just dissolves naturally into the vinegar. Take my raisins at this stage and I'll just throw them into my vinegar and my sugar. 115 grams. Give that a quick stir through. And we just add the two together. That is so simple, but the end result is just sensational. Just let that simmer for a couple of hours to get all those lovely ingredients and spices blended together. Well, that's the flavour for today. Sweet tomatoes and roast bell pepper chutney. Why don't you try it yourself? You'll be very surprised. Good eating and happy cooking. And if you'd like a copy of this recipe, write to us at 5:30 with Jude. The address is at the end of the program.
And Rick will be joining us next Monday, and every Monday, in fact, with another culinary treat. Okay, coming up, our new roving reporter, Jeanette Harnish, catches up with two of the great names in New Zealand theatre, Miranda Harcourt and her mum, Dame Kate. Stay tuned to meet this inspirational mother-daughter team after the break.